अब तेरी मोहब्बत लागी खोलो पर्दा सन्मुख देखो हंस हंस मुख दिखलाओ मेरे साहिब अब तेरे मोहब्बत लागी Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Hussein Janmohamed, and I am a choral musician, composer, performer, and conductor living in Toronto, Canada. I'm also a doctoral candidate in the Faculty of Music at the University of Toronto in music education under the supervision of Dr. Lorianne Doloff. I'm very excited about how excellence in choral music can be a foundation for bringing people together, both in a sense of common humanity and also in a sense of appreciating our kaleidoscopic diversity. I also lead professional and community engaged intercultural music collaborations globally. My presentation today will draw on experiences of a multi-day creative collaboration with 19 Ismaili Muslim musicians and traditional reciters from Tajikistan, Iran, Syria, South Asia, Afghanistan, East Africa, and the North American, European, and Western diaspora. The musicians had backgrounds in folkloric, classical, devotional, jazz, improvisatory, and choral music. We came together in the spirit of submission, in a spirit of gratitude and love, to commemorate the 80th birthday of His Highness the Aga Khan. His Highness the Aga Khan is the 49th hereditary Imam or spiritual leader of Ismaili Muslims globally. The office of the Imamate carries the mandate to improve the quality of lives of the societies in which our communities live. Culture, music, architecture, and heritage are part and parcel of a holistic model of development. In the context of music, His Highness the Aga Khan reminds us how the cultural heritage of Islam has long embraced musical language as an elemental expression of human spirituality. Whether listening to music, practicing music, sharing music, performing music, they have all been an intimate part of Muslim life, as has been the chanting of devotional and historical or epic texts. Music and sound in Muslim cultures has also thrived across centuries through what I would call hospitable, creative engagements with diversity in pluralistic societies. Our global music collaboration sought to draw on these historic wisdom traditions and to demonstrate our understanding of how we might apply a pluralistic approach to co-create our musical offering. We worked in Arabic, Persian, English, and German with on-site translators throughout the process. We entered the week with an idealized sense of intercultural collaboration. We were curious about what music would emerge out of our multi-layered historical musical legacies, and what would be the musical outcomes of this place, this time, this group of people, this event, and in this way. How would we create a sense of unity in our very distinct and diverse musical lives? Westerlund and Carlson emphasize how important it is that we search for jointly created harbors to co-create unity within the plurality when a shared musical repertoire no longer exists, and to search for shared experiences in the musical eddies or hybrids, even ethnic bricolage, through joint experiments and inquiries. This was our labor. Very quickly, we learned that intercultural music collaboration would become a very challenging process. We wanted to believe that the universal language of music and shared spiritual allegiance could bring us together easily. All we would need to do is bring a group of people into the room who had never been together before and make a space for music to happen. But what we learned was that the search for jointly created harbors involved an often arduous process, rigor even. We had to come face to face with limited beliefs about our bordered identities and perceived musical roles, and then engage with curiosity and openness our own and each other's perceptions of difference, until we found that sweet spot of ease from which creativity flowed. Additionally, as Liz Gould describes, to be messmates around a dynamic in-process table at which all are guests and no one is host. Gould explains that this requires a huge commitment to practices of regard and sensitive response in ways that compel us to learn from and with each other in the context of humility, doubt, and respect. Musical interventions were necessary in our collaboration to unveil perceived barriers of difference so that we could discover a sense of oneness in our spirit, and also that sense of unity as we slowly and gently, intentionally, mindfully wove back multi-layered threads of our unique identities. It is said in the Quran that Allah has made us from one soul into tribes and nations that we may know one another. Both knowing unity and celebrating diversity are required because they are wrapped up in each other, infused and suffused inside out and in each other. Recognition of our common humanity and our unique differences that stem from that unity is also the foundation for our social conscience and commitment to serving our communities through the knowledge we gain. The collaborative and musical processes that we engaged became narratives of unity beyond barriers of difference. At the same time, the intercultural music products that we co-created became narratives of honoring the beauty and strength of our kaleidoscopic diversities. As we embrace what June Boyce Tillman might call difference in relationship, we discovered moments of ease, grace, and flow that generated some incredible musical moments. There was a moment where one of our musicians said, "Why don't we sit in a circle and listen? Each of us will have 2 minutes timed, and every other one of us will have our instruments down, our voices on mute, and each person in the group would present a 2-minute expression of what they brought into the room in that moment." That time we shared was one of the most profound and awe-inspiring moments of unity not in the doing, but in the hearing. We knew ourselves differently. We knew something that arrived in the room that was beyond us. And at the same time, we knew that because we each brought a thread of our identities into the room that was immanent and that was present with us. His Highness the Aga Khan explains that it is important to amplify an ethic that honors both our common humanity and our distinctive identities, each reinforcing the other as part of the same high moral calling. Our process enabled us to fold, unfold, and refold our spiritual and material selves into what I like to call new Deleuzian assemblages rooted in love, submission, and gratitude. The collaborative process and musical outputs were like narrative portals, helping us to read inward to our common human spirit and outward from that spirit into richly woven stories of our unique identities. We discovered many opportunities to reveal the big U unity beyond our identities and to co-create new visions of small u unity within and through our plurality. Processes, approaches, methodologies, attitudes, and labors amplified our diversities and importantly amplified our inner realities, giving us the capacity to know one another on a different level. We came to states of deep humility, submission, and a kind of love. I would say that we came to feel what the Christian mystic Thomas Merton describes as divine mercy, in which we all are united beyond political barriers, facts, and opinions. We changed. Our hearts softened, our chests expanded. Through our laughter and tears, knowing that none of us had all the answers, we came to know the essence of Namaste, where it is said that the God in me recognizes the God in you. In both unity of the Spirit and in unity of our manifest diversity, through the labor, through the rigor, through the challenging of our own barriers, differences, perceptions, we found that sweet spot. Desmond Tutu might invite us to take our shoes off because we were walking on sacred ground. How we can learn lessons from and with global communities like these, where spiritual search is inextricably linked to material life, social conscience, and musical expression, is a question that I am left with. As music educators, knowing that none of us has all the answers, I invite us to have more conversations, to dig deeper, and to ask more questions about how musical language as an elemental expression of human spirituality, such as in Muslim societies around the world, can inform our educational efforts towards fostering pluralistic outlooks and kaleidoscopic musical expressions that honor our common humanity and at the same time diversities, especially in today's global society. I do see that music can help us lift those spiritual and material veils. And through love, gratitude, and submission, perhaps these experiences can help us to catch at least a short, illuminated glimpse of the divine beloved.